Hasna, especially you handling the chemical without PPE.
Alah, relax lah. I've done this so many times already lah. Nothing ever happened. I just want to finish quickly.
Don't be stubborn. The formaldehyde is in water. It's toxic. You can't see the vapor, but it can mess you up inside.
Don't worry, I'll be fine. PP is troublesome anyway.
Suit yourself. Don't say that I didn't warn you. Aduh.
Based on data, you collect because you were exposed to formaldehyde vapor. Physically, formaldehyde is a colorless gas with a pungent odor, often stored in aqueous solution. Chemically, is the simplest aldehyde, formula HCHO, with a carbon group attached to hydrogen. These three contain the same chemical you were working with. It enters your body through the inhalation and possible through skin absorption when you handle it without gloves.
So it wasn't just because I was tired?
No, in the short term, exposure causes eye irritation, clogging, breathing difficulties, dizziness, and nausea.
That explains why my eyes were burning and I was coughing.
Exactly, but there are danger in long-term exposure. Continuous inhalation can lead to chronic asthma, organ damage, such as the lung and liver. And most importantly, formaldehyde is classified as a confirmed human carcinogen, A1. That means it can cause cancer.
Cancer? That's serious. I didn't think it was that bad.
Yes, it's very serious. According to the American Conference of Governmental Industrial Hygiene, the holds limit value times weighted average is 0.1 ppm, and the short-term exposure limit is 0.3 ppm. You were exposed above this limit.
Doctor, based on this case, what preventive measure for the workers?
Strict use of PPE and full hood ventilation. Exposure must stay below TLV limit. And remember, the toxicokinetic pathway, absorption through lung and skin, distribution via bloodstream, metabolism mainly in the liver to formic acid, and excretion through urine. That's how formaldehyde move in the body.
I understand now. I should have listened.
Personal protective equipment (PPE) is not optional. It is essential.
Thank you, doctor. Make sure this message reach to all workers. This incident happened because PPE was not used. Formaldehyde is hazardous. Even tough, you cannot see it. Everyone must follow the SOP. There are three levels of control. First, engineering control. Engineering control is always use fume hood to prevent vapors accumulation. Second, we have administrative control. Follow proper procedure and schedule work to limit exposure. Last, personal protective equipment. Glove, glass, and mask are mandatory. Doctor confirmed that exposure above 0.1 ppm is dangerous. Safety is not a choice, it is a responsibility. If you ignore it, you risk serious health problem. We must ensure that every worker complies, so that incident like this never happen again.
Okay, sir, I've learned my lesson. From now on, I'll wear my PPE. Safety first. Sorry, sir. Sorry, Ain, for causing all this trouble.
Good, next time we all need to be careful. We can't take the chemical lightly.
Hello everyone, today our team will be presenting an overview of ISS 123 formaldehyde, commonly identified by its chemical formula HCHO. To begin, what is formaldehyde? It is an organic chemical compound belonging to the aldehyde family. This family is characterized by a carbonyl group C double bond O, bound to at least one hydrogen atom. As the simplest aldehyde, it consists of only one carbon atom, which makes it highly reactive and essential for many chemical processes. Formaldehyde exists as a colorless gas at room temperature, although it cannot be seen. It possesses a strong, sharp, and irritating odor that is easily detectable even at low concentration. It is important to handle it with care as exposure can cause immediate irritation to the eyes, nose, throat, and respiratory system. Because of its simple structure and high reactivity, formaldehyde is used extensively in various sectors. In laboratories, it is frequently used as a preservative and disinfectant, often in the form of formalin. Industrially, it is a key component in the production of resins, plastics, and other adhesives, as well as building materials such as plywood and particle board. To ensure safety, there are specific exposure standards that must be followed. The threshold limit value time weight average (TLV TWA) is set at 0.1 ppm. This refers to the average concentration a worker can be exposed to over an 8-hour workday without adverse effect. Additionally, the short-term exposure limit is 0.3 ppm, representing the maximum concentration allowed over a 15-minute period to prevent immediate health issues like skin and eye irritation. Finally, let's look at how formaldehyde enters the body. The most significant route is inhalation, which directly affects the respiratory system. The second route is skin absorption. Direct contact with liquid solution or high fibers concentration can lead to localized irritation or absorption into the body.
On this slide, I will explain the health effect of exposure to formaldehyde. It is important to recognize both the short-term and long-term impact because this chemical can affect the body in different ways, depending on how much and how often someone is exposed. In the short term, even brief contact can cause irritation, clogging, dizziness, and nausea. These symptoms usually appear quickly after exposure and act as warning signs that the body reacting to the chemical. Workers who experience this effect should immediately reduce exposure and move to fresh air because ignoring these early symptoms can lead to more serious problems. In long term, repeated or prolonged exposure is far more dangerous. Formaldehyde has been linked to asthma, damage to internal organs, and cancer. In fact, it is classified as an A1 carcinogen, which means there is strong evidence that it can cause cancer in humans. This clarification highlights that the seriousness of the risk and the need for strict control measures in workplace where formaldehyde is present. To conclude, short-term exposure may cause irritation and discomfort, while long-term exposure can result in chronic disease and life-threatening conditions. This slide reminds us that formaldehyde is not just an irritant, but a hazardous substance with proven carcinogenic effects. Protecting ourselves from exposure is therefore essential for health and safety.
Now, I will explain the three main types of control measures used in workplace safety. First, engineering control. These are physical changes to equipment or the environment that remove hazard at the source. They are the most effective because they don't rely on workers' behaviors. For example, installing machine guards, using ventilation system to remove toxic fumes, or building noise enclosure to reduce exposure. Next, administrative control. These are policy and procedure that reduce how and when workers are exposed to hazard. Example include safety training, job rotation to limit exposure time, client signage and SOPs in hazardous areas, and permit to work system for high-risk tasks. Finally, PPE, personal protective equipment. This is worn by workers as the last line of defense. PPE does not remove hazard but help reduce the impact. For example, helmets and safety goggles, earplugs or earmuff, gloves and safety shoes, and respirator for dust or fumes.
Next, the ADME pathway. The ADME pathway describes how toxic substances interact with human body. First, observation. Observation basically how will the substance get in your body. Hazardous substance can enter through breathing contaminated air, swallowing food or water, or direct contact with skin. Next is distribution. This one actually asks where will the substance go in your body. Once inside, toxins travel through the bloodstream and reach different organs. Some chemicals may accumulate in fat tissue, bones, or the liver, depending on their properties. Then comes metabolism. This one asks how is it broken down. The liver is the main site where toxins are transformed. In many cases, metabolism reduces toxicity, but sometimes it produces metabolites and they are even more harmful. Finally, excretion. This one is how does it leave your body. The body eliminates toxin through urine, feces, sweat, and exhale air. This step is crucial because it determines how long a substance remains inside the body and how severe its effect can be. In conclusion, hazardous substances can enter the body in many ways, and the ADME pathway shows how they move, change, and are removed. There are processes explain why some exposures cause immediate short-term effect, while others lead to long-term damage or even cancer. This is why control measures are essential. Engineering solutions like ventilation, administrative rules such as safe work practice and personal protective equipment all play in a role, reducing risk. The key is awareness, and understanding toxicology helps us protect not only workers but also the wider community. Remember, prevention is always better than cure, and safety must come first. Thank you.
Kesehatan keselamatan prioritas. Bersama kita raih sukses yang jelas. Sarung tangan jangan dilupakan. Sepatu safety jadi andalan. Prosedur kerja kita ikuti demi keluarga yang menanti. Safety first, ayo semangat. Kita kerja